Now we're going to look at the rectangle command and the polygon command. And on your draw toolbar you will see a rectangle shape with the down arrow, and you'll see that that's both rectangle and also the polygon. That's how you have to get to the polygon. Now if I select polygon first, that icon appears there. So be aware that as you use the tools that are embedded, they end up being the icon on top. So you can't always just go up and re-click on those. You would have to go back up and pick rectangle to go back to the rectangle command. So we're going to start with the rectangle command. Very simple command. It's based on what is one corner and what's the other corner of the object. And you could either work from lower left to upper right to lower left to lower right, vice versa. So all you have to be able to do is input points. And the points can be in absolute and they can be in relative. So specifying our first point, so since I haven't got anything else drawn on my screen, pretty much in absolute. So I can again use my grid, or I can type in 1, 1 and start that first corner. Now the second corner. Again, AutoCAD's already thinking in terms of relative. So if I put in my next point, it may not necessarily be on the absolute. It's going to be in relative. So what we're looking at is how do you determine that. So by looking at my cursor, it's telling me right now that I've moved over 8.25 and up 5.5. That's what the XY value is showing. Now if you look at the bottom of my screen where my coordinates are showing, it's 9.25 and 6.5. So what does that tell me? It tells me that the actual coordinate position is from absolute. My cursor is in relative because it's taking out that 1, 1 that I put in first. So again, rectangle, absolute, relative, you have to decide. So if I really needed to make sure this rectangle was 10 inches by whatever, then I could just type in 10, I'll just go 10 by 9. Let's just say we're making a border for our drawing to be inside. Now I have a 10 by 9 rectangle on my screen. Now also within your rectangle command, if you'll look at my command line, you'll see that there was a parentheses, and I had a chamfer option, an elevation option, a fillet option, a thickness, and a width. We may not be using all of those in this particular class, but we definitely might look at chamfer and fillet. Those two terms, a chamfer basically is saying I'm going to cut the corner off at an angle. So instead of that being squared off, I'm just going to cut that at some 45-degree angle straight across there. So I'd have a line that represented that, and then those two corner line pieces would be gone. That's a chamfer. A fillet makes a rounded edge. So I use a radius, and it would actually put a curvature line instead of a straight line, and it would again remove those 2 points. The elevation, thickness, those all are related a little bit more in 3D, so giving it some depth to it. And then the width is related to like how wide does the rectangle line need to be. And we usually will work off of line thicknesses for that, but just so you know, there are those options. The other option was, instead of just using a coordinate value, I could have used some area information. So if I knew the area of my rectangle, I could have chosen area and said I need a 45 square inch area, and it would have drawn the rectangle to that shape. Or I could have given it normal dimensions, based it on dimension size, and I could have rotated it all at the same time. So it doesn't always have to be setting in a horizontal vertical position. So that's your rectangle. Pretty easy tool to use. One thing that's different about this rectangle, you'll notice that every time I'm moving my cursor near it, all of the lines are highlighted. And what that basically says is when a rectangle is created, it is a polyline, and you can see that too. A polyline says that yes, these lines are in sequence, so it went point to point to point to point to point, just like using a regular line command. However, they're all connected to each other. That connected piece is how I'm able to easily translate a rectangle into something in 3D using elevations and thickness. So just keep in mind that it's all interconnected. I will show you how to take it and break it into individual pieces in some of the modify videos. So that's the rectangle. Now we're going to look at the polygon. So your polygon, those are shapes where the sides of your shape are lines. You could have a triangle, a square, a hexagon, an octagon. So you have all the different options. So when you first initiate polygon, you've got to know, is it going to have 4 sides, 8 sides, 10 sides? So we'll just go with 6 sides for now. That's a hexagon. Hit enter. And then a polygon is based on a basic drafting fundamental. And some of you may not have had drafting fundamentals yet, but the fundamental is that if I have a circle with a center and a radius, I can divide that circle into 6 equal points. At those points, if I connect the points, then I have basically drawn straight lines between those angles and created the outer edges of a polygon, a 6-sided polygon. So in a minute, as we work through this command, I'm going to have to explain a little bit more about what is the meaning of drawing through those points. So we're going to pick a center point just randomly on our screen. Again, could use a coordinate, could use the grid. Now, is it inscribed or circumscribed? And that's what we're referring to. So I've drawn this circle, I've divided it into 6 segments, and I'm going to draw lines between those segments. Will those lines be on the inside of the circle or inscribed, or will they be on the outside of the circle circumscribed? We used other terms called across points and across flats at one time because it was easy to recognize. Across flats, if I had to measure between the flat edges of a polygon, that's basically the diameter of my circle. So that meant that the circle was on the inside of the polygon. Now if I measured across points where it's inscribed, then my lines were the diameter between the points. So the flat edges would be smaller than they would have been circumscribed. So that's just kind of one way to know whether it's inside or outside. So we'll just do one that's inscribed. So all I've got to know is the radius. So what would be the radius between the center and that point? So we'll just use the 1.25 that's popped up there. And that's my polygon. And again, the only difference is knowing how many sides. Now, the polygon automatically oriented itself. So we're going to learn how to manipulate that in our modify tools by rotating a polygon in one of our later lessons. But that's essentially your polygon tool. So you would use that if you were drawing hex heads. A lot of shapes are cut in octagonal or hexagonal shapes. Of course, you can do a triangular shape. But that's how we're going to manipulate with the polygon.